Michael Wayne Jones Jr. was born on May 1 in 1981. He attended Brattleboro Union High School where he graduated in 1999. Jones met Casey Bowers, when both worked at an animal hospital in Lake County. The two dated for a while, then married. Casey already had 2 children from a previous marriage, Cameron Bowers, born in 2009, and Preston Bowers, born in 2014. The couple went on to have 2 children together. Markley Jones was born in December of 2016, and later in August of 2018 Ayana Jones came along. Casey Gilbert Jones was born on December 23 in 1986 in Goshen, Indiana. She graduated from Elkhart Memorial High School in 2005. Casey was a stay-at-home mother who was very devoted to her children. The family lived in a trailer at 14680 Southeast 86 Terrace in Marion County, Florida. On July 10 in 2019 the couple got into an argument about his cheating. He grabbed a metal baseball bat and beat her to death with it. On July 27, the father of Casey's 2 older children picked up his children from the Jones home to spend 2 weeks as previously scheduled. Around the same time, Jones sent a text from Casey's phone to her mother, Nikki, asking if she could keep the 2 younger children for 2 weeks. She agreed, and Jones dropped the children off at their grandmother's home. On August 10, Bowers returned his children to the Jones home not knowing that Casey was dead. Within a few days of returning home, Jones went upstairs while the oldest, Cameron, was sleeping, and strangled him to death. Once Cameron was dead, he put his body into a suitcase. The next night, he decided to use a zip tie to strangle Preston due to his hands being sore from strangling his brother the night before. However, that did not kill the young boy, so he ran water into the bathtub, and drowned him. After he was sure the boy was dead, he placed his body in garbage bags. On August 14, Jones drove to Nikki's home, and picked up his 2 daughters, Merkley and Ayana. On August 17, Jones sold a set of twin mattresses on Facebook Marketplace for $50. The couple who purchased the mattresses dropped by the home to pick up the mattresses, and noticed the smell of death, and said Jones acted odd. On August 22, Richard Bowers attempted to contact Casey Jones to wish his son, Preston, a happy birthday, but never received a response back. On August 23, the property manager at Summerfield Home began the process of eviction for the Jones family due to unpaid rent. On August 23, Michael Jones took his 2 young daughters with him to his ex-wife's home in Jacksonville, Florida. They stayed that weekend, then returned back to their trailer. On August 26, Jones pretended to be Casey and posted something on her Facebook page. On August 28, Michael Jones drowned both his daughters in the bathtub in their trailer. Jones kept the bodies in the home for weeks. He used kitty litter to soak up the body fluids. Eventually he put all the bodies into his van, and drove around for another 2 weeks. He contacted his ex-wife, Sarah Jones, in Jacksonville, Florida, who invited him to stay with her during the threat of a hurricane. He told his ex-wife that he was separated, and Casey was staying with her mother. He stayed for 2 weeks, then left. He drove north. On September 14, Casey's mother contacted police to do a welfare check on Casey and the children. She said she had been looking for Casey's children for 2 weeks and had not heard anything from her daughter. She said that the last time Jones came to pick up the children, Casey was not with him, and that made her very nervous. Police went to the Jones home to check on the family. When they arrived, the home was empty. A next-door neighbor said that a few weeks back they had done a walk-through with the landlord, and once inside they were overwhelmed by the smell of something dead. Inside the empty home, police noticed 2 containers of bleach and a mop bucket sitting on the floor. The home smelled of a decomposing body. This led to authorities issuing a missing, endangered persons alert for Casey Jones and her children. On September 15, Jones crashed his car, a Chrysler Pacifica, in Brantley County, Georgia, more than 150 miles away from his Florida home. "Go ahead and arrest me, my wife's body is in the back," Jones confessed to the Georgia police officers at the crash scene, according to Sergeant Paul Bloom of the Marion County Sheriff's Office in Florida. When responding officers opened the trunk, they found the decomposing body of his 32-year-old wife, Casey Jones. She was wrapped in an area rug and a white plastic shower curtain. The front of Casey's skull and face was crushed. No other injuries were found. Shortly after, Jones led police to a wooded area near the crash site, where the bodies of all 4 children were located: 10-year-old Cameron Bowers, 5-year-old Preston Bowers, 2-year-old Merkley Jones, and 1-year-old Ayanna Jones. The bodies were stuffed in suitcases and plastic totes. Both of the girls were inside a single tote. Also inside the tote was a baby bottle with Ayanna's name on it, and a small, pink pair of sandals. Authorities returned to the Jones home with a search warrant. Inside the home, police found decomposition fluids in the corner of one of the rooms. 38-year-old Michael Jones Jr. was charged with 4 counts of first-degree premeditated homicide, and 1 count of second-degree homicide. He was detained at Brantley County, Georgia, then transported to Ocala, Florida to stand trial. A judge denied bail, stating he was a flight risk. He made a full confession in his interrogation. Some areas of the following interrogation was redacted by authorities, due to it being an ongoing investigation.
She actually reached, we had a recliner in the living room, reached and grabbed after the bat, and kind of, hit me, broadside me or whatever. Okay, yeah, they were asleep. Where did they sleep at night? The boys have a bedroom. And then the 2 girls sleep in the living room area.
So when I've been to the house, I don't know, earlier today. When I walk in the front door, obviously you walk in, you're in the living room, right? And then there's a bedroom to the right, closest to the road.
Yes.
Is that that's the boys' room? Yes. Okay, and then the other room on the other end of the house is obviously y'all's, right?
Yeah.
And there's nothing left in the house as far as furniture or anything. Where was the chair at situated in the house?
You first walked in the house, the recliner was right there and to the left.
Okay. Where did that recliner go?
I left it there.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't take it.
Okay.
I didn't take much out of there. So then it's summer, so the boys, her boys ended up going with their father for a couple weeks. So I have the girls, screen the girls before the weekend before the 22nd. And they were gone for about 10 days. So maybe the 12th of August or so.
Okay, that's when they went to that. Okay, so a day or 2 after this happens. What did you do from?
Yeah, school's, approaching. Boys come back.
How do the boys end up back there? I mean, obviously Dad would normally call, text, how would that happen?
It was previously, with the drop-off, it was determined what time, what day, time frame was.
Okay. So he texts you or texts her, or what's you guys' relationship like as far as with him?
We haven't talked much. Not really any relationship there.
You know, where does their dad live?
Here in Georgia somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. He did live in Florida for a while. He moved here a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And they've been going back and forth as far as custody goes, and when he can have him or if he can't, and he just kind of fell off the face of the earth and came back into the picture for this.
So you get them back about the end of August?
Yeah. I know school's starting.
Are we talking about the beginning of August? Because I think I think school starts like August 12th or something like that, if I remember correctly. August 11th, something like that.
Yeah, school starts around then, like the 10th.
Okay. So they were with that for about a little less than a month, right?
Yeah. I think they were there for, like I said, I think 10 days or 2 weeks.
Does he text her phone? Does he text your phone? How does that work?
I believe at first he texted her phone.
Okay.
I think we communicated the second time through my phone. Okay. May have been through her phone.
And obviously at that point you got to keep up some sort of ruse that you're her, right?
Right.
Okay. Where are the girls at this time?
They were back with me at that point. I had dropped them off at my mother-in-law's.
Miss Nikki?
Yeah. And I think I had them back.
So you get the boys back from dad, and school starts. School's going on for about a week. What school do they go to?
I lived in Children Park Elementary.
Okay. Because you worked down
I
there?
never go. We lived in Leesburg.
Okay.
The last school year. Okay. And ended up we didn't want to put them in Leesburg. We should put them in Leesburg, so we ended up putting them in Children Park.
Okay. Did you ever take them to school?
No, not this year.
So they were enrolled in Fruitland Park but never made it? Right. Okay. And then what happens with them? Do you go, are you going to work still?
Yeah, I work. I work at the table for a guy right now.
Up in Jacksonville?
No, in the villages.
So you're driving
Down here, yeah, for a couple of days.
Yeah. Are you driving the van back and forth?
Yeah.
Driving Sarah's car? Or?
No, okay.
Obviously I have to ask it. I got some pictures of the inside of the house from when the cleaning people showed up to clean everything up. And it looked like you were getting ready to pack up and move, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our stuff was still backed up.
Moving there?
Yeah.
How long did you guys live there?
I moved in April.
Okay. So April, May, June, and then July is when everything happened?
Yeah.
So just a couple months?
Yeah.
What's you guys' relationship like? I mean, is it an ongoing thing where you guys are at each other like this, fighting, or?
It just got worse. Like, little things all the time with her. She would come at me, and we'd argue, and it never really got physical. We had 13 people living with us in Leesburg. Nikki, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, and my sister-in-law's 6 kids. With our 4. And it was pretty tumultuous. I mean, it was rough. To where we had to call the police on Nikki, actually. She slapped her granddaughter across the face. Things got out of hand. But we were in the process of selling the house pretty much for 9 months or so. And the first offer she got, we packed up, so stuff had been in totes for
Was that your house down there?
Oh, it's hers. It's my wife's.
That was your wife? That was Casey's house? Yeah. So what was that address? 12?
Yeah, 2018. Yeah, 2018 Vine. Yeah.
Yeah, Vine Street. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're staying with Sarah. Is Sarah asking about the babies and what's going on? Or?
No, I mean, I would keep the kids and she would, go to other things. On the weekends, do Uber and stuff like that. And so there wasn't much conversation about it, here and there, but, I would tell her that, Casey and I are separated and she's with her mom right now, so
you kind of just covered that first.
Yeah.
And did she think much of it? Was she excited that you were back? Are you guys dating again? Or?
No dating. She has a boyfriend for a couple of years and he's up in Vermont. Nothing.
Okay, so you're just kind of crashing there and spending time with the kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was there for the hurricane for that week. Thought, hey, you just come stay with us. And you're in a trailer, and I told her that the girls were with their mother. And, she was like, well, come stay with us because they're freaked out. We just moved down here 3 months ago. Okay, nothing happened to the hurricane, obviously, but I still stayed there.
And her boyfriend was there at that time?
No, he's okay. He lives in Vermont.
So you got pretty much, she's under the impression that Casey is staying with mom and the kids are all healthy and everything's good.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Does Nikki and her sisters and everybody start calling with her? I know she's got a phone, right?
Yeah, she had her phone, so I had her phone for a while, and I would text and pretend to be Casey. And
what's Casey's phone number?
352-360-8140.
Okay. And what do you know what provider that is?
Yeah, it's Sprint.
Okay. What's your cell phone number? Or what was your cell phone number? I went to recently.
352-530-9730.
And so you're pretending this whole time to be Casey obviously on Facebook too, because you got some like collages that you made or something on Facebook and posted them. And
also Sprint for yours.
Yeah, same. It's another thing.
So then you're answering text messages back and forth, and
so that's been. And I trashed her phone. I don't know what day it was, but I was actually down above the city hall, looking down at the police department, which I believe was Marion County Police Department.
okay.
I sat there for several hours with my daughters and turned myself in. Smashed her phone that day and threw it in the dumpster.
City Hall, I'm trying to think.
Is that?
So you value?
Yeah, maybe
the checkers?
Yeah, Wells Fargo's over there or something.
Yeah, there's a checkers and Wells Fargo, and you kind of look down the hill at the police department. Okay. Did you throw it in the trash? Did you throw it in the bushes?
No, I threw it in a dumpster. It was adjacent from, it was across the street from City Hall. Across the road.
Across 441?
Yeah. It's like an old gas station or something like that.
I'm turning yourself in just this basic fear that, you're going to end up in the situation you're in right now.
Yeah.
Now, are you driving around in the van this whole time? And do you drink?
No, I drink beer, yeah.
Drugs or anything?
No. I'm on medication, but...
You on medication right now? What type of medication are you on?
Blood pressure medication, and then I have a medication for depression, Uppbeat.
Okay. Is that affecting the way you're thinking or anything right now? You seem to be pretty level-headed.
Yeah, I don't
Think you're out of your house, go south.
go right, go south. Probably 2 miles maybe.
So that's a Walmart.
Before
Before 42?
Before 42, yes. Before 42.
Okay. And with that, I mean, do you think it's still there? Or do you think we've had a trash pickup or something like that?
I would assume they had it.
It's not been within the last week, obviously. No, you ain't been here. So, okay. So you clean all that stuff up. And is there, can you share with us her, Casey's Facebook name?
Her Facebook name?
Yeah. Is it Princess?
Yeah, it's a major Princess.
What's her password for Facebook?
I do not know.
She just shot it out because it was on her phone.
Yeah, she kept it over. So,
Where's your phone at?
they deputy took it.
Is that the same phone? You still have the same phone from all that time, you just don't have a minute on it?
Right, the bill's overdue and they turned it off a couple days ago.
Okay. That's why when I called you a couple times, it went straight to voicemail?
Yeah.
Okay. So, obviously, you were staying with Sarah. Were you with her last night?
I was up there, yes.
Okay. Up there, right?
Yeah, up in Jacksonville.
Did she stay in the apartment?
Yeah, she was in the apartment.
Did you guys hear my phone call stuff last night? What was the deal with all that?
She woke me up early morning and asked me what was up with, is there any reason why Marion County would be, looking for you? And then I just started spinning stuff, and I said, you know what, let me just get on the road. So.
Did you tell her what the heck was going on?
No.
She told us that, when you talked to me, or when she talked to me this morning, you were still there. Is that true?
When she spoke to the phone, yeah, I was there.
What was going on?
Just trying to figure it out.
You were trying to figure out what I had going on, and
Yeah.
okay. Did she talk to you? Did you tell her what to say to me, or?
No, one point, she thought it was looking for just me, and so I said, you've seen me or whatever, you've seen Casey, you've seen everybody, So yeah, I guess I did tell her.
Okay, so basically, what was the deal with McDonald's?
McDonald's.
She mentioned something about being at McDonald's. She met you at McDonald's on Friday or something to exchange the kids.
That's usually a meetup spot.
Okay, so that's your usual meetup spot.
We're going halfway.
So, after that phone call, how long after that phone call do you leave?
I don't think I left out of Jacksonville until like 3.
Okay. Yeah. So you were there for a while. When, after I called her the first time, I mean, did you ever tell her exactly what was going on, or you just kind of, I gotta get out of here?
Yeah, I just told her I gotta get out of here.
Did you get out of there after I called the second time?
Around that time, yeah, because she'd come back, she left the house back. And we talked about, she said, why'd you have me tell them this? And, they're calling me back. I said, well, let me try and go deal with it. So.
And you called me, right?
They call you.
Why didn't you come? What do you think was going to happen today after you left? What was the plan?
The only thing that I had in plan was just to get out of Florida for now, or cross the border here and set a rest stop and try and think. I'd like to say that, sit here and kill myself, but that's not it. Just running.
So whenever that second call came in, it was, you knew it was about time to get going. And you left and didn't really have a plan because obviously you weren't planning for detectives to start calling you. Did you see any information about them missing or anything?
No, I didn't see anything. She told me that there was some stuff on Facebook.
Sarah did?
Yeah, Sarah did.
Did she communicate with Casey's family?
No.
So it would have had to been something that we posted or something like that?
Yeah, well, I think it was something that was reposted.
Okay.
Through family members. She's Facebook friends with my mother and stuff.
Okay.
I assume, yeah.
Did you call your mom at any point and tell her what the heck was going on as far as?
No, my relationship with my mother's been rocky for a long time. I try to keep it, together as much as possible, but I message her, a couple times a week, but other than that, I haven't actually spoken to my mother in a long time to hear her voice.
So you get up here into Georgia. What made you, is there any family, any friends, anybody that's this way?
No.
So you're just driving. You got money to go anywhere?
No, I had, $40 when I left, and so I figured I put some money in the tank and drove, and figured I'd get across the border, like I said, in Georgia, and sit the rest out, and think, before people came after me.
So you pulled down this road here, and at what point you decide what you were going to do with that?
I was driving, and I just keep seeing pull-offs, and I was like, I don't even know. Like, it didn't cross my mind really, other than just a pull-off. So I pulled off, went down the road, took a piss.
Tell me about this. This is another question I had. How did you wreck the van? What happened there?
Like I said, after I got out of the woods driving or whatever, the GPS is like rerouting me, and so I mess with the GPS, and it's a touch screen, and I'm looking this way, and I swerved out the road once, and then kind of like, okay, pay attention, and swerved again, and that was it, just kept going down, and I slammed into that, and that was it.
What happened
then? I got out, trying to correct myself and figure out, what was up.
Were you injured?
No. Anyway, ankle a little bit, and other than that, no, I had a seatbelt on.
You kind of see up here. Is that you got
I
one?
think so, yeah, but I haven't seen myself, but so I have fun.
Yeah.
But I got, like powder or whatever it was in my eye, it was burning a little bit, so I got out and found something to rub my face, and, people driving by, and I was telling them, all right. And I knew that my phone would at least call 911, so I called 911, and I didn't know where I was. I saw 2 different road signs. I said, I'm in between here.
How did you call 911 with your phone?
I guess emergency.
Yes, 911, yes.
So you call 911 and you wait for the troopers to show up?
Mm-hmm.
What happened then?
Did anybody else ask you about the smell of the van while you were driving around? It had to have been overpowering. Did you smell it?
Yeah, I smelled it.
Yeah.
And mothballs in there. It broke open, and there was some of her stuff or whatever broke open in there. And that made a weird smell, like just clinging to my clothes, the mothball, and obviously the decay. And so I believe Sarah asked me once, what's that smell?
And what'd you tell her?
I said there's mothballs in there. Because it was almost overpowered the other smell on me, anyways.
How'd the window of the van get busted?
That was prior to all this happening. I backed into a tiny little oak tree in Nikki's, my mother-in-law's driveway.
When any of these happened, were you drinking?
Mm.
You weren't drinking a bit. No alcohol, no drugs, no nothing. Clear head.
I'm not going to talk to Sarah and find out anything different, right? I'm not going to find out that this was some planned thing. I don't think it was, but obviously, I got to go back and talk to her.
Yeah, that text for her.
You already put her in a spot today.
Yeah. But she knows nothing about it. Nobody does. Yeah.
Nobody at all. There's nobody that you confide in that doesn't either.
I don't have anybody.
What happened with you and your mom? I know your mom called me and she told me that you called her and told her some weird story. She didn't think much of it, but obviously thinking back now, she said it was a little weird. What did you tell your mom?
I don't know. I guess telling her the same thing that I was telling the kids, like,
Something about Kentucky is what your mom told me.
Oh, yeah, that was from the hurricane or whatever. So she asked what we were doing if we're staying, in Florida or whatever. And that's when I was with Sarah. So I told them, no, we're going to head up to Kentucky. That was the story I told. I feel like I dropped something in there, but I don't know.
Were they clothed or unclothed or?
The baby had a diaper on it. So I guess she would be naked. Yeah.
What were the other ones wearing?
Cameron had some bottoms on with no shirt.
Saying like shorts or something, sleeping shorts or something.
I think saying this for us.
What about the oldest girl?
She had clothes on. Oh, shit.
You left a computer at Sarah's house.
Mm-hmm.
What's on that computer?
No, it's, it was Casey's, but there's nothing on it.
Why'd you leave it there?
So she could have the boys use it.
So you gave it to Casey for the boys?
So
That's how you gave it to Sarah for the boys?
Yeah.
Alright, we'll see if that's step out for a few minutes. Do you want?
Yeah. Make sure we covered everything.
Jones pled not guilty. The trial date has not been set yet. Casey's mother, Nikki Jones, stated her daughter was just an amazing woman, with equally precious children. Oh my God, they were everything to me. All of them. She said that Cameron was so sweet, and a good big brother. And that Preston was just about to start kindergarten. Merkley loved the Bee Gees, and was her soul mate. And little 1-year-old Ayana was just learning to crawl. She said that she always video chatted with her daughter and grandchildren, then it just stopped, and the text from her daughter got weird. She said she realized that it wasn't her daughter. She went on to say, he had no right to take those babies' lives. He had no right to take those babies from me. He's a monster, and the monster's gotta pay. She continued saying her son-in-law was jealous and controlling. The state has made it known they will be seeking the death penalty. Jones will remain in Marion jail until trial. Michael Jones Jr. murdered his wife in a moment of anger. He refused to face the ugly truth, and call the police. Instead, he coldly premeditated the murders of each of his 2 stepsons, and then his 2 young daughters. He's far worse than a monster, for even monsters protect their young. He deserves the harshest of penalties. May his victims rest in peace. That concludes this episode. Keep your eye out for the next volume, coming soon. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.